What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here for our Fulham pre-match show. As always, we're your hosts, Wahomie and Steve. I am on vacation right now, here for this awesome episode. Hopefully 3 points coming tomorrow. Wahomie, how you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Hopefully, I was a bit dampened by Leicester coming back tonight, but it's still a long way to go in the race for the top four, so they haven't secured it yet. So I'm just hoping that we can bounce back after our disappointing result against Chelsea to win tomorrow.
Yeah, that result couldn't have been any worse for me. You know, I'm on vacation right now with my parents, and my dad's a huge Chelsea fan, so you better believe he threw that in my face the entire last few days. But honestly, let's get right into this match because I think this is obviously another huge match for us. We need 3 points to stay in the race here, but I think, Wahomie, where we really need to start is another injury at center back. It looks like Kabak is doubtful for the match tomorrow. Looking like, do you think it's going to be Phillips and Davies in the back, or what's your center back partnership for the match?
I think we have nothing to go for it. I don't want to see Fabinho at centre back anymore. And I just think we should put Phillips and Davies in centre back. Fulham we're going to dominate possession tomorrow. So I don't see what we have anything to lose now. Just put Philip and Davies at centre back and then push Fabinho at midfield. There's no need for him to be at centre back anymore. And I'll be pissed off if he's at centre back tomorrow because then what's the point of buying Davies? He's fully fit now. Klopp said it. So I don't understand, obviously, this thing of Davies needs time to get used to stuff, but then Kabak can straight away play. I don't buy that. So for me, if he doesn't play tomorrow, Davies, he's gone in the summer, to be honest, and there's a stopgap.
Yeah, I got the same vibes too. I mean, if he doesn't start this game, then what the hell do we sign him for? This is the perfect game for him to play, going against Fulham, one of the bottom teams in the league. And just I think their play style as well, I think kind of fits into how he likes to play. He's really good with his feet. So I don't think they're very good in the air unless Mitrovic is in there. I think that he can handle his own. So yeah, if he doesn't start in the game, then it's huge question marks on why we even signed him in the first place. But like you said, I think especially after the midfield performance against Chelsea, we need Fabinho back in that midfield. Mason Mount just ran all over our midfield. Our midfield was very stagnant, not a lot of movement like we saw against Sheffield. So I'd love to see the boost of Fabinho being in the number 6, allowing Gini, Jones, Thiago, whoever the other two who start to play more forwards. That's exactly what we need right now. Having a true number 6 to allow Thiago and Ronaldo and Jones to have the freedom to make some chances, or even Keita. This actually would probably be a perfect game for Naby Keita as well. I would be furious if we see Fabinho in the center back with Phillips. But honestly, at this point with Klopp, I'm not really sure between the substitutions against Chelsea and everything. I don't really know what's going on.
Because I saw a stat when I was looking at stats on the Chelsea game, and I realized what we're missing. That Chelsea game, Thiago made 2 tackles, Jones made no tackles, Gini made 1 tackle. And in fact, if you look at it, that was Gini's first tackle in 5 games. Successful tackle in 5 games.
Oh my God. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, it just shows because what Gini's obviously a fantastic player, but he's not a 6 that's going to defend and break up play. He's a 6 that's going to control the ball. He's not going to track runners and stuff. So his job is not like a 6 like a Henderson would or Fabinho will. They're breaking up play, disrupting. When you think about Fabinho, Fernandinho, they do those intelligent tackles, fouls that bring players down. You're not going to see a Jones do that because he's not going to be tracking the runner that way. And obviously Jones is an attacking player. You're not going to see Jones get loads of tackles and stuff. That's not his game. And Thiago, while he's decent defensively, that's not his game to be he's not a guy that's going to want to track back runners and do all that kind of stuff. And I saw another stat that was comparing Thiago to Bayern, and they're showing that how the amount of defending he has to do now compared to when he was at Bayern has shot up hugely. He's having to do way more defending and way more tracking back and running than he was at Bayern. So this shows you although he was playing a 6 at Bayern, he wasn't having to do the amount of defending he's doing now. And Thiago doesn't want to be having to run back and do all that tracking back and chase runners. That's not his game. So I feel like we need a Fabinho in there that's going to break up play.
I completely agree. Dave's LFC chats. Dave, thanks for joining us, buddy. Fab won't play in the midfield. I'd be super surprised. I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if he's at center back, but I just think, again, it just shows that Klopp doesn't want to take a risk. You know what I mean? And I think it's time that we got to start changing it up, taking the risk here and there, seeing what we can do. But before we move on, Chris Welch, thanks for joining us as always, buddy. Good point here. We will finish top 4. I love that confidence. That's exactly what we need right now. And the club needs to fix up and be dead furious to be forces for being your back in the center back role. Completely agree. Just for all the reasons that we just said. He definitely needs to be back in the 6. You can just see it. And like you said, Mahomie, he had way more freedom at Bayern. He was playing a lot of the 6, but oftentimes too, he was playing with a guy like Kimmich, who's great in that role as well. And when we signed him, we thought we were going to be playing him with Henderson and Fabinho. Now that we have Fabinho, let's at least take a look at it. Let's see what can happen here, because we can always start with Phillips and Davies in the back. And if it's catastrophic and very bad, then you make a change at halftime and pull Fabinho back at that point. I don't want to do that. I just want to see Fabinho back in the midfield, because honestly, the biggest thing for me in that Chelsea game was a complete lack of leadership all over the pitch. And I just think having a fresh body, having a fresh 6, and Fabinho coming into that role, that could just energize that midfield a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I think Fabinho would release, because what we noticed in the Chelsea game is how, like, in the Sheffield United game, you saw Jones taking a risk in the box. Against Chelsea, none of the midfielders were willing to take risks. I never saw Jones actually get in the box, trying his shots like he did against Sheffield. We didn't play how we did against Sheffield United. The midfield didn't play. So the midfield played against Chelsea game like they were afraid. They were afraid to get in the box and take any risks. But I feel that if you put Fabinho in there and you're going to play Jones or Thiago or Keita, it allows them to take risks, play higher up the pitch, because they have that security blanket. It frees up the midfield. Yes. Otherwise, the midfield, if the midfield plays, if we play again Fabinho, Jones, Thiago, or Keita or Ginny, that midfield combo, none of them are going to take risks. Maybe Keita might do, but the others aren't going to take risks. They're going to continue to play how they are, like afraid to go forward because of the defense.
Yeah.
And also, for the defense as well, there's no protection. It was so easy for Chelsea to walk through us and get, be facing our defense. There's no protection. There's no one there that's protecting their back 4. When we were attacking Chelsea, you saw Kante there breaking our play, stopping us getting forward and doing what we need. We need Fabinho back in our midfield doing. And I agree with you. Klopp's not taking any risks. And I think with 11 games to go, now's the time to take risks. Now's the time. We've got nothing else to play for. There's no point. We have to get top 4, so we've got to start taking risks. And if Klopp doesn't take risks and we don't win tomorrow, then it's more mistakes from him. I hate to say it, because obviously I love Klopp. I don't want him to go anywhere. But it's just like he needs to start learning from these mistakes himself. And realize I need to change it up. There's no reason to buying Davies and not playing him. Doesn't make sense.
I completely agree. And there's 2 comments here in the chat I think are spot on. David FC chats again, who has been in form in this team. I really think it's really only been Phillips and Jones, and that's it. But Ali Yaka here, I think this is spot on. We should rest Mane and Bobby, play Jota on the left, Salah on the left, Jota on the left, whatever, Origi through the middle. But the biggest thing here at the end, don't care who plays center back, because that isn't our biggest problem right now. And that's exactly spot on. Our defense isn't the issue. We lost 1-0 to Chelsea. Yeah, it was poor defending on that goal. He should have never had that shot. But how many times are we losing games 1-0? Our problem is not creating opportunities and getting goals. So why not do something, change something in the midfield, change something up top, just to see if we can get a spark somewhere? Because it's not denying the goals that's the problem. It's putting them in the back of the net. And this is really the first time in 3 years that we've had a problem not scoring goals. So we got to do something to change it up. I mean, I haven't seen the front 3 play this bad together in a very, very long time. Like against Chelsea, I was pretty pissed off too when Salah came off the field, but all 3 of them were offering absolutely nothing. We got to do something to change it up and create more opportunities. And I think having Fabinho as that security blanket and giving the attacking midfielders more of a freedom to go forward, take some risks, even the outside backs to get forward, take some risks, that's what's going to create the chances for us. And especially last time against Fulham too, Loftus-Cheek dominated the midfield in the first half of that game. So we got to do something to come out with a spark right away. And I think that having Fabinho play the 6 would be good. But going off of that, who would you start? For me, this is the perfect game for Naby Keita to come in and make an impact.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't understand Keita not coming on against Chelsea. that game was crying out for him. Someone who's can take players on. He's good in tight spaces. It made no sense for him to not come on. And I still never to this day understand Milner coming on. That substitution made no sense whatsoever. And I think this is game is for Naby. Because Fulham are going to be, how they're going to play. They're going to pack the midfield, play a low block. They're going to try to go for set pieces and crosses, and probably target long balls down the field because I realise that Liverpool struggle with long balls. And this is a game for Keita. We need someone that's going to be able to take on players and work in tight spaces. Our best performances when we looked really good this season were, except for the Tottenham game away, was the Palace game where Keita starred in that. We actually destroyed them, and I think it was Leicester he played in. Leicester at home. So I think this is a game for Keita. So my midfield realistically would be, I'd be going to that game and I'd be playing Fabinho, Thiago and Keita. Because I think that's the midfield we should go with. That's going to open up. There's plenty of creativity. It's going to dominate possession. It's going to open up Fulham. And that's the midfield I'd play. I'd rest Ginny because he needs a rest. He's knackered. He didn't have any impact in the game against Chelsea. I'd give him a rest. Jones, I'd give him a rest too. He was out on his feet against Chelsea. He wasn't impacting the game really. So
that one opportunity. He had that one opportunity at the end of the first half. That ball over the top where he tried to spin and caress it at one time and lost it. And that was really, if he was in form, he would have been able to take that down and get the goal. But Ian Francis, he brought up a good point here. You play the 4-4-2 diamond midfield. Would you entertain that potentially?
I would, but I wouldn't have Curtis playing. I'd play. I wouldn't. I'd have. Yeah, I'd have Fabinho. I'd have Fabinho midfield. But I'd be happy with the diamond, but I'd have Fabinho midfield.
Yeah, otherwise, too. Yeah, he's got Trent,
Nat Phillips, Robbo, Fabinho, Thiago. Oh, so he has Curtis and Keita in it.
Yeah.
I'd probably have Shaq in the team over Curtis to just mix it up, to have a difference.
Yeah, no, and then it seems like everyone's agreeing with us right now. I mean, Victor here says that, how's Klopp not seeing the defense is the least of the problems right now? Take a risk. He's way too rigid. And Eliaka, again, Klopp should be brave and give more chances to the youngsters. Best time to risk taking, to be honest. Start with Davies Phillips, put Fab in the midfield. We really need his energy. 100%. We're all on the same page right here. I mean, that's what's kind of aggravating me too. Obviously in Klopp we trust always. I think he's the right man for the job and all of that. But it's just getting to the point, man, where it's this clearly isn't working. The 4-3-3 is not working. We need our number 6 back in the number 6 role. What is it going to take for Klopp to realize that and start making some changes tactically? Because we haven't seen it yet, and it's starting to drive everybody crazy.
I don't know. I think he's just so concerned about the defense that he just doesn't trust. I don't think he trusts the other defenders properly. I don't think he trusts Davies because that's why he's not playing. But I don't think he trusts Davies. And I just feel he's just so worried about the defense that he's picking defense over thinking, well, it's not the defense that's the issue, it's the attack. Because we've seen Marley being absolutely shocking. We've seen Fabinho being shocking. Taking off Salah was madness against Chelsea. And we need to change up where we drop one of those attackers, well, probably even two. I'll probably even drop both of them, but we drop 2 of them and we just mix up when you start taking risks because we've got nothing to lose for now. We've got on paper the easiest running out of all the other top 4 teams. All the other ones have to play at least 4 out of the top 6. The other teams have to play. Everton, Leicester, Chelsea, their run is much more hard than us. So they are going to drop points. So tomorrow is a time, but probably Dave. We have to be honest. Dave is probably right. He is going to do that. He's going to play Fabinho at centre back. He's not going to take risks as always, and that's the issue. We are going to see Fabinho at centre back tomorrow. And that's the issue.
Yeah, no, I know, right? It's just going to drive me insane, especially if you play Fabinho in the back and lose 1-0 again. It's going to, or even draw. It's just going to drive me absolutely insane. I mean, and going off of that, 5 defeats in a row at Anfield, and why do you think we're struggling so much at home? I mean, for me, the only thing I can think of is that we've relied so much on our fans to carry us through tough spells, and when we get through those tough spells in the game to really pick us up and also just kind of rattle the other team as well. And I think really, I know every team has to deal with it, but we're one of the few, I think, that is really being impacted the most by not having fans in the stands.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think obviously injuries hasn't helped in terms of us being able to rotate. So we've had to play a lot of players, through the red. We've had to play like Gini, in so many different games. And I think, burnout has to creep in. I think obviously Mane, a lot of players haven't had any rest in over probably proper rest in over 3 years. So burnout is going to come into it. I think it's that. Also, I think the fans are a big point in it, that we do miss the fans, and some of our players are entertainers. Like Bobby, when we played Spurs and we beat them at Anfield, you could see how Bobby, in front of 2,000 fans, he came alive. So I think certain players like that are entertainers. And then I think at the same time, it's like it's a combination of Klopp being rigid in his tactics and not willing to be flexible and take risks, and also some of the other players not having been good enough this season. They haven't turned up. Because a lot of the teams when we have played at Anfield, the teams we put out were strong enough to still win those games. They were still strong enough. Even against Chelsea, the team we put out was strong enough to put in a better performance than he did against Chelsea and win that game. But the problem is, a lot of players haven't good enough.
No, and it drove me insane against Chelsea because I actually thought in the opening 5-10 minutes we were okay. I was like, oh wow, okay, we have some intensity and everything here. But then it was just like the moment Chelsea got one good play in, it just looked like everyone's head started hanging down, and then they just had their way the rest of the entire game. And the biggest thing for me in that game was that after the first 10 minutes, we had zero intensity. It's like we went hard in the first 10 minutes and then just completely took our foot off the gas. And I don't know if the intensity thing is, again, the lack of fans in the stands, or if it's just, wow, we've seen so many injuries that guys are trying to take care of their bodies or something. But it's driving me insane because that was one of the things that I loved about this Liverpool team, was that we were running all over the place. We were running other teams into the ground. And now I'm sure the injuries do play a factor, but I think that's really the biggest thing, is that Chelsea was just pinging passes around us. 1-2 passes, just boom, 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 all the way down the field. I don't remember that happening too much against Liverpool teams because we were always pressing so hard. We wouldn't make those passes that easy. And it just seems like right now it's way too easy to break down this team.
Yeah, because no one's tackling midfield. There's no one who's tackling, breaking up play, controlling the game. There's no one in midfield doing that. So of course, if you're playing players who don't tackle, then of course there's no one disrupting the opposition. It's so easy for them to play through us. Before obviously you had Fabinho and Hendo, who are breaking up play, who are making tackles, who are winning the ball back, who are driving that intensity, that energy, and without that, of course, it's easy for teams to play through us. And also I think away from home we've actually been quite good on the road in the last 5 or 6 games. I think teams have to play maybe more open against us away from home, so that probably helps. And then I think Klopp's taken risks away from home. He hasn't done it at home.
Yeah, I think Ian's right here that opponents just aren't intimidated by us anymore. They see it as an opportunity to go get 3 points when they come to Anfield. And that should not be the case at all. It should be the exact opposite. But Aliaka here thinks that Gini and Thiago should both be rested because they're competing to see who can make the most backward passes every match. It seemed boring, offering very little attacking. Prefer to see Naby and Curtis and then have Fabinho behind them. That's not a bad option. But again, I think a lot of, and maybe I'm just giving Thiago the benefit of the doubt, but I think he's being asked to do way too much, especially defensively. That's not, he can do a couple things defensively, but that's not what he was meant. That's not what he was meant to come in to do. No, he was meant to play more forwards, more of a Gerrard role, kind of run all over the place, find the open spaces, and then hit the pass. And we're relying on him way too much to track back and play defense. So I think just having Fabinho in the 6, I don't even know if it would matter who you have ahead of him at that point. But I do think that Naby Keita should come in because if you look at his advanced statistics, he's actually very good at winning the ball back for us too. And I think he could just provide that spark that we're missing, get a turnover, somewhere in their zone, and just have a quick counterattack like that and be in a dangerous position. That's really what we're missing in that press. It's a guy who can win the ball back in a dangerous position.
Yeah, I saw a crazy stat today. I think Wigan won at home today. And after Wigan won at home today, it said that of England's top 4 divisions in 2021, Liverpool have the fewest home points out of all the English top 4 divisions. We're 92. We're 92nd out of 92 for home form. That's disgraceful, mate. The fact that our home form is the worst in the country out of all the 4 divisions.
I'm pretty sure too that we'd be in if the season started in January, we'd be in relegation. I think we'd be at least bottom 4, that's for sure, with how many points that we have picked up. So it's completely unacceptable with a team this good. So like when you think about this game, like what's the approach that you would take? I mean, are you going just like are you going to bench Bobby and Mane? Or are you just going to go, no, best 11, let's go out there and just go pedal in the middle?
For me, my approach for this game would be I would bench one of them. I don't think Mane deserves to play. He has to be one of him, and Bobby has to be the bench. And I think in the last game, Mane was the worst player on the pitch for us, and he needs to be on the bench for a while. Just to have a kick at the backside, just to learn. Like you're not guaranteed minutes because of what you've done in the past. You still got to put in performances, and like he's been really, really bad this year. Like, and I think like he needs to spill on the bench because we rested Bobby when he wasn't playing well, but we don't seem to be doing that money, so we can't be doing favoritisms. So for me, my approach would be I'd rest at least one of them. I don't think he'll do 2, but at least one of them has to be on the bench, Bobby and Mane. And then I would try something different. Maybe it's 4-2-3-1, a diamond, 4-2-2. Kind of formation, just different, so it's mixed up, and just get, maybe even play Jota and Salah as a 2 up top, just mix up so you're trying something new, giving the opposition something different to work on, rather than just playing 4-3-3 again, which I'm pretty sure we're going to play again tomorrow, and it's just annoying. So I think we need to come out the blocks fast. We need to have 2 players in our midfield that are attacking players.
Yep.
That's what we need. 2 players that are going to take risks and get in the box and drive with them.
Yeah.
And then we can do something. We play Ginny, Jones, and Thiago tomorrow, or Milner tomorrow plays, and that's just going to be disappointing because it doesn't make any sense to play that tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, Ian, right there with you, man. Hendo, Fabinho, and Gini should be doing Thiago's defending. I feel sorry for him. Me too, man. Yeah, me too, 100%. And yeah, that is the worst out of all time that you provided us. That we're one of the worst teams in England right now. Absolutely terrible. But I don't know if you know much about this situation with homie, because I've been on vacation all week. Owen's confession about the Mane Salah situation, something seems a bit wrong. Are you aware of those comments?
Yeah, he's talking nonsense. He said that Mane didn't want to dive against Chelsea to go down for a penalty, so Salah didn't score another goal. It's nonsense.
That's ridiculous. No, I do not see that at all. Mane's never really been a guy to go down easy in his entire career. So I don't see anything into that. And I think Owen just needs to shut his mouth about Liverpool. I can't believe that like he's a representative of the team. The guy drives me insane. I can't stand him, to be honest.
It's talking nonsense.
He completely talking nonsense, but I think Mane can come in as a late hour sub, 100%. I think Jota might as well put him in there, give him a start. And then, you can take him off and then have Mane come in at the 30 minutes left in the game, something like that. But something just, you got to do something to change up the juju around this team right now, because it is very, very poor. And I'm really not liking it. Really not liking it at all. But I mean, I really wish Brighton was able to pull out that draw today. That would have been absolutely massive for us. But I mean, we got City versus United, Everton versus Chelsea. No, I'd like to think that United or potentially Everton/Chelsea could, drop some points tomorrow. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, pretty much anything less than 3 points. And I think at this point, if we don't get 3 points tomorrow, it's probably the end.
Yeah, I think based on tomorrow, it's a must win for us. And we've said it plenty of times, but it's a must win for us if we want to get 4. But it's an opportunity because I think City will beat United tomorrow. I don't see United winning there. Winning against them. I think City will beat them. I think Chelsea and Everton will draw on Monday, and that will help us. And then obviously, Leicester not winning tonight was a disappointment. But like I said, Leicester still got City, Chelsea, Leicester, Spurs, all to play, and West Ham to play. That's a tough run in. So that's not easy. They're going to drop points against Leicester. All it takes is for them to lose to City. And then we go and we win tomorrow. We go like 4 points off them. Then they draw United away, or lose to United, and we win again, that's us catching up with them. So there's still to play for it, but for us, we just have to win tomorrow. And the only way we're going to win is by having Jota start in that game. That's the only way.
I agree.
The only way we're going to win is having him start that game.
Well, I think Ian brings up a good point. He could actually see Milner starting just because we don't have anyone barking orders. It goes off of my thing is about that complete lack of leadership out in the field. I mean, as much as I kind of rag on Milner, one thing he does work hard, and he is a guy who's more vocal out in the field. I mean, would you be pissed to see Milner start tomorrow?
Yes, because I don't think we need a Milner tomorrow. We're going to play against a low block. We don't need someone like Milner tomorrow. I get their sentiment of wanting someone who barks orders. We don't need that. Milner's not a game. If we were playing a Leicester at home, fair enough. I can understand Milner playing because you need someone like Milner that's going to do snapping challenges and stuff like that because Leicester are going to be open. So Milner's energy. But against a low block, we don't need Milner. What we need is Fabinho in the midfield, and to free up the other players. That's what we need. So I'd be disappointed. It wouldn't surprise me if Klopp plays Milner. And him playing Milner is just an example of him not taking risks tomorrow.
Yeah, agreed.
And going defensive. So I'd be disappointed if he starts tomorrow, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, for me, I'll just be pissed if I don't see Naby Keita in the lineup because this is exactly why we signed him to break down a low block. We know we're going to face a low block tomorrow. We absolutely need to see him out in the field tomorrow. And if we don't, then I might riot. I don't know. I might lose my freaking mind if he does not start tomorrow because I am a guy who always gives him shit for not being healthy. But now he's healthy. We've taken our time getting him back, accustomed to the team, training, and everything. Now's the time to let him loose. Let him go out there, start the game, play 60 minutes, maybe 75 minutes, and then just let him do what Naby does, which is not be afraid to play a forward pass, not afraid to dribble forward, make a move on somebody. That's exactly what we need against this team tomorrow. And also, last time we played them, their midfield bossed our midfield, and we need his ball winning back in the midfield. So he better start, otherwise I'm going to freak the hell out.
I agree with that. There's no point because Naby's been fit for these 2 weeks now in training. So I just imagine that they're bulking him up. They're doing this 1-2-1 stuff with him for him to come back now. So if he doesn't start tomorrow, that makes no sense because he's fit. He's not injured. He's fit. So that to me says Klopp doesn't trust him still.
Yeah. And I think too, Victory here says, just let everyone loose, right? Just I want to go back to playing heavy metal football. Just go back. We got nothing else to lose. If we get injured, we get injured, whatever. Just run your tail off. And when you get tired, we'll take you off the pitch. But that's exactly what we need. Raise the intensity, put the other team under pressure, especially a team like Fulham that does not have a lot of talent on that team. Put them under pressure, make them make a quick pass, and we're going to get some turnovers if we play that way. I just want to see somebody, I've said this so many times in the show, I just want to see somebody take the reins in this team and just say, if no one else is going to do it, I'll fucking do it, and just take control of the goddamn game. But I don't think, and that's what's driving me crazy about Salah. Salah, he gets mad when he's not captain and stuff, and he's a leading goal scorer on the team. He's a guy that I look to who should be able to take over games, and he really has not been doing that. And I know there's a lot of injuries and everything, but one of those front three or somebody in the midfield needs to take the game over, and nobody's doing it.
I saw another stat that was showing that how this season the front three had not been fed in terms of passes.
Yeah.
The amount of passes that the front three, they're feeding us scraps more than this season. They're not being fed. So, and that's why, obviously, I know they've missed simple chances in games, but they're not getting that many chances to score. And so they're having to finish few chances when we do get them. So it's a worry how little we create for them.
That's what I'm saying. And I think you see when they do get the ball, it's 20, 25 yards away from the box. And that's not to get the ball there. What are they supposed to do with it? They'd have to dribble 40 yards to get to the net. And they're not getting the ball in the dangerous positions anymore.
Yeah. And I think that's what's worrying as well. The fact that they're having to play much deeper, and they're not getting any service, and they're having to be really clinical. They might get 1 or 2 chances to have to be clinical and take it. That obviously doesn't help. But then as well, we've not played the right midfields, and I think tomorrow is a chance for us to fix it, and we have to, like I said, we have to go for broke. To be honest, there's no point in saying, trying to be defensive tomorrow. Just go for broke. Take the game to Fulham. Tell the boys, look, none of this slow passing. Come out the blocks quickly. Take the game to Fulham. Quick passes. Get plays in the box. Take the game to Fulham.
There's no reason why we should be scared of Fulham, doing something amazing on like offensively against us. You know what I mean? Like even if we start a guy like Davies, he should be more than capable to play against anybody on that Fulham team. So why the hell would we try to line up like trying to play more defensive, not taking risks against a team like this? That just shows that we're playing scared. And like it'd be one thing if we were in second place or in third place trying to hold on to our top 4 spot, then I would understand this. But we have to go out and take it. None of these teams ahead of us are going to just allow us to get back into it. We need to go put pressure on them, get the 3 points, and like make them play safe. That's what we need to do. We need to be the team who wants it, play hungry, and go get the fucking 3 points instead of just, okay, we're going to keep playing sideways passes and backwards passes, and something's going to come eventually. No, like get back to rock and roll football. Go find yourself a goal instead of just letting it come to you. Go take it your goddamn self.
100%. 100% agree with you there. 100% agree with that. I think like we're at the point of the season when it's like, no risk, no reward kind of mentality. We have to. I'm sick and tired of hearing the players after these games coming out and stuff. We have to do better next time. Do this and we don't ever see it in the pitch. So, actually, I think a lot of it, obviously, it comes down to what's been fed from them by the manager. Obviously, I get it. Obviously, Klopp's not in the best of shape right now because of his mother passing. So I know that must be difficult for him. So obviously, it's probably hard for him to show that same enthusiasm. But even before his mother passed away, obviously for her to rest in peace, we were still struggling. We were still struggling before his mother went, and there was still a lack of intensity. So I think right now, Pep Linders should be taking the reins. He's a number 2. He should be the one that says, "Look, Klopp, I'm going to do media responsibilities. I'm going to be the one that, because like one thing I noticed, like last year, Pep Linders, you see him coming off the bench and shouting stuff, barking orders. You don't see him doing that anymore. He's always just sat there, never comes off the bench and said anything. If he wants to ever be, people keep saying Pep Linders can be the next manager for us, ideally. But this is the time where he should be like, remember like when Jerry Julio got ill, and Thompson took over. Thompson took over the reins when Jerry Julio had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
I want Pep Linders to do the same. Like say, look, Klopp, I've got some of this stuff for you. When I'm gonna help to bring that motivation back to the players. If Klopp's seeming down, which I bet he must be around the ground. But look, I'm gonna step up on the pitch and start barking orders at the players and say, look, come on, do stuff. So I feel like I want more from Pep Linders as assistant manager. I don't, I don't think Kravitz is going to do anything because he's more analysis kind of guy. Pep Linders is more media, so I want him to step up a bit more.
That's a good point. I mean, this would be the perfect time for him to do that. Like, obviously, the last month or so with Klopp going through all this stuff, it would have been a perfect time for him to kind of step up and take more of that role. And sometimes, too, just a little bit of a different voice, coming instead of always being Klopp's voice. I'm sure, Linders does a lot behind the scenes still, but I think sometimes, too, like even in game, like you said, just having a different voice, telling them different things can cause a big impact. Like, obviously, Klopp's one of the best in the world at what he does, but, he's been the coach now for many years. And like, there's only so many speeches you have. There's only so many times you can say something differently. So I think having a different voice, like you said, like even if it's like just have Linders do the halftime talk, something like that. Just like everybody needs to be thinking outside the box now. So coaching staff, training staff, the players, everybody needs to start thinking differently and trying to do different things. And I think that would be a great idea. Let Linders do a little bit more because I'm sure even though it was a month and a half, 2 months ago with Klopp's mom, I'm sure he's still feeling that. He didn't get to go to the wedding. I'm sure it's crushing him. You know what I mean? Especially like Allison, same thing. Like, change it up. Just change it up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think how, I imagine, I haven't gone through anything like that deep where you lost someone like a parent or something. But imagine that, but I know what it's like to lose a friend or like a cousin and stuff that you're close to. I know it takes a toll on you. It's hard for you to then be motivated and full of confidence, full of energy, and it's hard. Like I know what it was like when I lost my friend to suicide last year, and how hard it was when I was going to work. It was hard for me to go into work and be confident and be full of life and stuff. People noticed that. It was hard for me to do that. So, and I look after, I line manage like 4 people. So yeah, it was hard for me those times like to really motivate people and stuff. So imagine the same for Klopp. So that's where you need your number 2 to say, look, I'm going to step up. I'm going to do more stuff. Ask him, look, let me do something with that. Doesn't mean that you're take a back seat. I'm going to step up and be that second voice for you to help you carry the reins. And I don't know, obviously, like I said, Pep obviously does a lot behind scenes, but he just needs to do more on the pitch, in terms of like motivation.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Ian thinks that Pep should be doing the press conferences. Why not? Take something off of Klopp's plate, let him rest up a little bit, get his head right. Missed this comment earlier, but I thought it was interesting that, where Tsimikas, man, was back in training, is nowhere to be found. Why do we sign him? I mean, listen, he was injured for a while. I know he's back in training, but Ralbo's been one of the better players on our team this year. So it'd be hard to slide Tsimikas into a spot here. Because I don't think Ralbo has been anywhere near a problem for us this year. So I just think that, why take him out when maybe, I don't know, unless Tsimikas can play on the right side and have him going for Trent or something like that. But I don't think that Tsimikas would really change anything that we're seeing right now. But then here's an interesting point. Playing a 3-4-3. I've never seen Liverpool even practice this at all. I mean, I understand the concept that Ralbo and Trent as wing backs could penetrate the attacking threat. Thiago and Keita in the midfield in front of behind the front 3 of Jota, Salah, Shaqiri. Could be interesting. I mean, listen, I'm open to any and all ideas right now. I mean, anything to change it up and give us more offense, I'm all for. I think that's something that I don't know if we'd see this year. I think if anything, if we change the formation, it'd be a 4-2-3-1. But again, I just think that we don't have the manpower or the right people to play that formation right now, which is the problem.
Yeah, I just don't think Klopp would go to that kind of formation like without having sufficient time for training and stuff. So I don't see him taking that kind of a big risk to do that. Especially, like I said, we don't have the players to really do that. So I don't see that. I think if he's going to do anything, it's going to be like a 4-2-3-1 or like a 4-2-2, which we've seen him do this season, or a diamond kind of formation we've seen him do. But I think we're just going to see the 4-3-3 again tomorrow, to be honest. I don't see it changing.
I do too.
I don't see it changing.
So I want to kind of get to the lineup stuff. So I actually want to do 2 different lineups. I want to do the lineup that you would go out. Yeah. And then I also want to hear what you think Klopp's going to do.
Okay, so I'll go with what I think what I'd want. So my lineup tomorrow would be Alisson in goal, Trent right back, Davies, Phillips, Robbo. My midfield would be Fabinho, Keita, Thiago. And my forward line would be Jota, Salah, and I'd play Bobby as a 10 behind them.
Interesting.
And play that way. Salah and Jota as a 2, Bobby behind them as a 10. And I think Bobby has done well as a 10 when he has played. He's looked more alive. But when he plays in the forward line, he's been shocking. I don't want to be in the forward line anymore. And then what I think Klopp will go with is Alisson in goal, Trent, Robbo, Fabinho, Phillips. I think he'll go with Ginny, Jones. I think he might play Naby over Thiago. And then I think he'll do the normal front 3. No, yeah. He'll do Salah, Bobby, Mane, and I don't think he'll start Jota still. I think he'll have Jota on the bench again.
Okay. Yeah, so my preferred, so what I would do is very similar to yours. I would say Alisson and net, the back 4 of Robbo, Trent, Davies, and Phillips. My midfield 3, I'd actually go Fabinho, Keita, Jones. Because I would just say, listen, let's break down that low block. Let's have 2 more creative guys in there. And then I would say a same exact thing. I would say Jota and Salah up top with Firmino behind them. So it'd be a little bit more of a diamond midfield. But yeah, that's what I would do personally. And I think that when we have played through the middle, that's when we've played our best football this year. What Klopp's gonna do is gonna be Alisson, Robbo, Trent, Phillips, Fabinho, and then it'll be Genie, Thiago, Keita, and then the normal front three. Yeah, so I think we're spot on with. I think we're the same there with Mane, Salah, Firmino up top. And you know what? I'll yell at my TV. I won't be happy, but then guess what? If they go and win the game, then I'll shut my mouth. But still, I just want to see him take a goddamn risk, change something up, and just create a spark. You know what I mean? I think also just changing the formation or putting a couple of new guys in there, that can just create something new. Give you a little bit more energy. Sit Mane, might piss him off, and then bring him out for 30 minutes and just have him run everywhere. I don't know. Just do something to send a message to the team, like, okay, you guys don't want to perform. I'll just keep rotating the lineup until we find guys who want to perform.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing a lot of time is Klopp having favoritism. He's not willing to drop certain players or rest certain players. And I think that's sometimes obviously the one of the very few weaknesses of Klopp is that he's too loyal with certain players. And he won't ever give up on them. And it's not giving up on them, but it's just like he won't rest them when they need a rest. So that's why I'm saying Mane will start tomorrow, because he won't give up Mane in that sense. But I think, like I said, I think we need a spark, and I thought the spark was going to be Keita and Jota coming back, because we've tried everything else, nothing's working. So I thought they would be the spark to light us up, because if they can't spark us back into life, then we're real in trouble. Then we've got some big problems. So, somehow we need to get them back in the lineup to just change it up. And I think, as you're saying, I think tomorrow will be a great chance to start Jota and Keita, play them for 60 minutes, get the win, take them off so they're fresh for Leipzig in the week, kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just, I think Keita and Jota can still be the spark, but they really haven't had the opportunity to be the spark yet. Neither one of them have started. I think they've both played less than 45 minutes so far since they've come back from injury. So it's just what I mean, they need to get the opportunity, and this is the perfect game for them to come in and do it. But a couple things here I just wanted to bring up. John MC, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you. Here's an interesting question before we get to the scoreline predictions. Time to sell one of our front three and refresh the front three. What do you think about selling one in the front three?
I don't want to sell Salah, for example. I don't want to sell Mane. I don't want to sell Bobby. I think Bobby could be effectively playing number 10 next season. So I actually don't want to sell any of the front three, because I think that just weakens us. And I think right now you're not going to get much money for them, to be honest. Maybe Salah. I don't think you're going to get much money for Bobby. Mane, potentially, maybe 100 million if you're lucky, 80 million. I just want to sell them, because I think, if you sell one of them, it sets us back, because I don't think that we're going to then get two forwards in to replace them, to replace that one and buy, So I wouldn't sell in the front three. I just think that we need to just be more flexible in our formations. And also I think the issue is that we need an extra forward. That's the issue. We need one more. We need to keep the front three with Jota and buy an extra forward to give it that extra depth, extra freshness. And then we also just need to fix the midfield and get an attacking midfielder, like I've said before loads of times, like an Aouar that can come in,
yes,
and link up play and create more chances for us, and then also get Fabinho and Henderson back in midfield. I think if you put kind of summer, you get an attacking midfielder and a forward, and you have another centre back as well, and you have everyone back fit, you'll see a different Liverpool team.
Oh yeah.
And I think people need to realise is that obviously there's a lot that's gone on that's affected us. So it's not, I wouldn't sell the front three.
And I also think too, everything that you just said, and then plus a full off season. You know what I mean? I think a full off season our main thing's gonna be a 4-3-3, but then we can also play a 4-2-3-1. Maybe we do the 3-4-3 that Ali Yaka was talking about. That way we can actually get a whole month or two of actually trying some new things, getting comfortable with each other. Because that was the other thing too, is that Thiago came in with no preseason to join this team. Same with Jota, and then they both got injured. You know what I mean? And so it's really hard for us to build momentum, kind of get that fluidity together. But yeah, I mean, Ali Yaka, summer signings. I think kind of Jota. I think Wahome said it right on the head. I think I think Aurier from Lyon would be absolutely perfect for this team. I think another guy of Jota's quality to come off the bench would be ideal to spell the front three. But I also think that we need to get rid of a lot of the dead weight. Guys like potentially Shaqiri, Ox, guys like that who just are continuing to get injured and not being available. We got to cut weight. Matip, those guys. I love Matip. He's a great player, but can't stay healthy. Those guys got to go, and we need guys who can stay fresh and stay ready. Because if you're not available, then what's the point of being on the club?
100%. I agree with you there. 100%.
But Ian, I mean, just to kind of get before we close out, how about a 2-3-5? Just go all out attack. Mine as well. Try, give it a go. Let's just see what happens. Can't be anything worse than what we've seen so far. And Owen Firmino to China seems a little drastic. I think it's funny. Made me laugh when I saw that. But no, I think Firmino still has a role in this team, more of a number 10 role that Wahomie said. But to close out the episode, Wahomie, let's do our scoreline predictions. So I'll start us off. Again, I think just because we have so much more quality than them, I think we're going to get the 3 points. But I don't think it's going to be easy. I haven't seen anything from this team that makes me think it's going to be 2-0, 3-0. So I'm going to say 1-0. We're gonna get some sort of scrappy goal, maybe a PK for Salah. But I think Salah will be the guy who scores, and it's going to be 1-0.
Yeah, I was going to say the same with you. I don't see us scoring loads of goals tomorrow. I think it's going to be another hard-fought game where we'll see the first half scrappy, probably not many chances, and then we'll probably up in the second half. Again, I'll go with you. Either 1-0. If Liverpool win, it'd be a 1-0. If we don't, it'd be a draw, and it's going to be disappointment. So yep. I don't see it at all to be tomorrow like a 2 or 3-0 win or anything like that. Liverpool aren't playing that well, and plus at home, we just don't see it.
Yeah. We'll see. John MC thinks it's going to be a 2-1 win for the boys. I hope he's right. That'd be awesome. Any result that gives us 3 points, I'm all for. But more importantly, though, I really want to see a good performance out of the team. It's been way too long that we haven't seen a good performance. Ian Francis as well. He thinks it's going to be a 2-1. 5-0 Aliyaka, Salah hat-trick, Jota goal, and potential Keita goal. That's what I want to see tomorrow. You show me that tomorrow with the entire team putting in a performance. I know it's against Fulham, but if the team can just get some confidence, beat Fulham convincingly, go beat Leipzig midweek, maybe that's the spark that we've been missing, and that can carry us on. Get a good draw in the Champions League in the round of it, in the final 8. Who knows what can happen at that point? Like Wahomie said when he was down a couple episodes ago, dare to dream. Dare to dream, everybody. Stay behind this team. We can do this. It all starts with 3 points tomorrow against Fulham. But the chat, you guys were on fire. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps more Liverpool fans see this channel. And if you guys ever want to come on, shoot me a DM at Youngster the Cop or at Steve. You can see my Twitter handle there. We love to have anybody from the Liverpool family. We'd love to have you on the show. Just let us know. But otherwise, we'll be back after the game tomorrow. And John MC, if it is a 5-0 game, I am holding you to this. I do want to see you run naked down the street. Just blur everything out because I don't want to see anything too graphic. But otherwise, everyone out there, we appreciate you. Up the Reds. 3 points tomorrow against Fulham. We'll be back immediately after the match for the post-match reaction. So take care, everybody.
Up the Reds.